Okay. Hello! Welcome to the Completely Inappropriate Podcast. I am Frank, along with
Tony.
And today we have somebody, I want to say very special, but I'm like, only to me. But, yeah, this guy we met actually in fucking combat, and then it wasn't until years later, when I was back here in South Texas, at a house party, that there was this guy. I'm like, hey, like, fucking, we went for I think it was a beer run, and I'm like, hey, fucking, I know you, right? And he's like, oh no. I'm like, no, yeah, because your voice sounds familiar. I ruined my voice. And I'm like, yeah, well, fucking.
Did you think he was hitting on you at first?
Nah, definitely not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then the guy's all like, or I tell him, like, you were in Ramadi, right? And he's like, yeah, the snake pit, right? And like, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, motherfucker.
Shit.
Yeah, I was there too, but this is Rob Zepeda, a Marine.
So did you not recognize him at all? Did he look a little different?
A little bit different, yeah. I mean, coming out of that shithole, we all look a little bit different. Let the facial hair grow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on. What's your name? You didn't finish
I did.
it?
I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rob Zepeda.
Oh, right. Oh, I missed it. Whoa, zoned out. Hi, guys. That intro was just so long. So this is the Completely Inappropriate Podcast. Before we get into it, I'd like y'all to find us on Twitter at CompletelyInApp, on Instagram at CI Podcast. You can email us at completelyinappropriatepodcast@gmail.com. Find us at Facebook, YouTube, anywhere. Look for us. Y'all are big boys and girls. You know how to do that.
Yeah.
All right, so we wanted you here today because, as a former Marine buddy from what, Frank?
As a Marine buddy.
No, as a that's not what I meant to say, but that always comes out. God damn it, Tony.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Another demerit. I'll do some push-ups for you guys later or something. There's no Jeeps around, so I won't run for the keys.
Okay.
That's still beyond the lamest thing I've ever heard. I asked Frank one day what was I asking?
A hazing ritual.
Yeah, what was the worst hazing that ever happened? And he opens up with, they made me run for the fucking Jeep keys. It was like, yeah, that sounds terrible. I can't imagine. Alright, man, so tell us a little about yourself. What do you do? What are you up to? Who are you?
Oh, man. Alright, so, yeah. Well, currently, I work for the federal government. So, I guess I didn't learn my lesson being in the military.
I was going to say, yeah, you're still
I didn't
lifer in anyway.
Oh, man, I didn't learn that the federal government will always fuck you over. But, that's what I do now. Yeah.
Can't beat them. Join them.
Might as well. I mean, they pay the best. I mean, if they're going to fuck you, they might as well pay you, right?
True.
So, but I joined the Marines when I was 18. Actually, when I was 17, but went when I was 18. And I did my 4 years. I was going to make it a career, and after 4 years, I just realized this shit's retarded. And we were heading towards peacetime, and things were getting stupider, and I was like, nah, man, I'm out of here. And so I came back here, and I bounced around a little bit. I worked in almost every capacity you can think of. I've worked with the police department. I've worked
every capacity with the government. It sounds like.
Yeah, but now with the government. But I worked for the state. I worked at the state level. I worked in the oil fields. I've worked everywhere you can imagine, even in retail. I hated retail, by the way.
Oh, that's my money. That's what I fucking. Ace the quiz and Jesus, what the fuck am I saying? Continue.
So I've done a little bit of everything since I've gotten out, and I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at right now. And I mean, the only thing I was waiting for was our fucking president to start World War III so I can get back in the Marines, but apparently that didn't happen or hasn't happened yet.
No, he's pulling people out apparently.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens in 2020 and into 2024 because we know that motherfucker's gonna get reelected.
Well, I mean, he's following the same path that Bush did. What did he do? He pulled people. A number of troops out of Iraq before the second election.
Pull them out and throw them back in.
Yeah, and then throw them back in. Exactly.
Here we go.
Same fucking game plan, man.
Yep.
And I called it back a while ago that he would start doing some more democratic leaning things just to swing the vote back because he's been too bipolar. So literally, polarizing.
And I think this is like the first president that we've had that has been such a tweeter.
He's the only tweeter, right?
Yeah, he's the only tweeter.
Obama said the occasional thing like, God bless America and the troops.
Yep, pretty much. And this guy's just all over the place. But hey, fuck it.
Yeah, he uses it to communicate directly to the people, which is unique, you know? I mean, who knows how history is going to portray him, you know?
If they don't erase him, they're trying to erase everything else.
Yeah, well, nothing's going to get erased. There's always parts of history where you have a faction of people that are trying to eliminate certain histories, and they end up succeeding in one way or another, but the fight is always there, and those people fighting are always going to maintain that history. So you're never going to fully eliminate anything unless, you know, you decide to nuke your own fucking country, which, you know, don't put it past us. We are America, after all. We do what we want, even as individuals within it.
Yep.
Unfortunately. So, you were in Ramadi with Frank in the Snake Pit? What's that?
Yeah, well, you tell him. I never...
So the Snake Pit was like the nickname for the smoke pit.
That's just a different nomenclature. What is it? Tell me.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's a smoke pit, right? It's our designated smoking area, so...
Oh, okay. That's not what
Yeah.
I thought. I thought it was going to be like where you put a brush fire or something. I
No,
don't know what the hell y'all are doing out there.
Oh, yeah, no,
Every time we do one of these marine memory episodes, there's new jargon that I gotta try and compute, but I can't put myself there because I never was.
Yep.
So,
I mean, maybe they call it the smoke pit because when you're exhaling, you know, it kind of sounds like a hiss. And we're always coming up with crazy shit, and so, I mean, half the MSRs, which is our main supply routes, our main supply routes over there, they're all named after titty bars in Iraq. So,
okay.
Yeah, so if you ever listen to Motley Crue's Girls, 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 you've heard about half of our main supply routes in Iraq.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
there's actually a street in Ramadi called Bakalakadaka Street.
And that means...
Well, it's from fucking Team America.
Oh, yeah!
Dude, I should have brought my patch. I actually have a patch because they used to call me McLovin when I wore my glasses.
Were you a little guy or what?
Yeah, I was actually about 40 pounds lighter than I am right now.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, I was real tiny. I had glasses and everything, and they call me McLovin. And so I have a patch that I had made over there. It says Team America World Police, and it says McLovin in the center.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so...
We've got to get all these shirts made. I was thinking of it the other day, the spray painted G for fucking Will, and your Black Hearts one, and now you're that would be fucking awesome. Get all these shirts made, man. Y'all gotta let us know if y'all want them, though, out there in podcast land. Let us know what kind of shit you want us to produce for you. So, while you're over there, what ends up being... Well, first and foremost, I guess, why did you decide to go in? I always like to ask that.
Alright, so I always kind of knew I was going to go towards the military.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something that piqued my interest as I was a kid. You know, back before all this hippie stuff started coming around where kids want to be all sensitive and whatnot. So...
I think there's a good balance between there somewhere. It's just
hopefully
there's just too.
Hopefully, there's still people like
the loudest people out there are the ones on the fringes that are just fucking extreme about everything. So don't knock that. I know a lot of. I don't want to say kids, but 18, 19-year-olds that actually have pretty good heads on their shoulders. They're surrounded by idiots, but them themselves, there's individuals out there that are just like us, man. There's always normal people that grow up in the bunch in this society.
That's pretty much like how I figured. Like I grew up, but so going into high school, obviously your options in middle school are limited, and so in high school you have a chance. You have all these electives. Mm-hmm. So I chose, JROTC as one of them.
Right on.
So I was one of those dorks in high school.
I was a band nerd. I was in dance actually from like junior high to freshman year, so don't worry about it.
And the only reason I quit band was because I was a percussionist and my parents didn't buy me a drum set, so I said, screw you guys, I'm out of band.
Oh, that
and so I joined JROTC and FFA, right? Because I learned that you can make money selling your animal at the livestock show.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were going to slaughterhouse at the time, so I felt really shitty, but I continued to do it for 4 years.
Yeah, my wife raised lambs, I think.
That's why I raise lambs too.
Yeah.
I still eat lamb chops, by the way.
Oh, delicious. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she felt bad about it, but she knew exactly where they were going, and she was fine with it. She just,
Yep. I was
What? I wish Pinchy were here to enjoy this.
Pinchy?
The Simpsons. Fucking Homer gets a pet lobster.
It's called
and
Pinchy.
then runs him a bath.
I'm never ready for these.
Like a fucking warm bath, right?
It was like steaming hot bath.
Yeah.
And he boiled.
Yeah, Bart's like, what smells so good? Pinchy!
So I'm in JROTC, right? I do my freshman year, all that. I was starting my sophomore year. And, so, we start school in August. The next month, my history class was actually in the JROTC building, right? So there was separated, right? There was like the main JROTC building, and then there was a couple of like oddball classes that were in the same building. So I walk in, it's my first class of the day. I'm sitting on the desk, I'm bullshitting with my friends, and it comes out on the, over the PA, like, teachers turn on the TV, something's happening. I don't even have to really mention what day it is, but I'm sure y'all can guess what day it is. It's September 11th. And, they turn on the TV and we're like, what the hell's going on, right? We see the Twin Towers, one's already smoking, and then we see the next, plane crash hit the second tower.
Right.
And, the next whole class period.
That was Channel 1, right?
Yeah, it was Channel 1.
Channel 1 shit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, and so it's all like just playing out before us, like live.
Yeah.
And
it was gnarly, man.
Yeah.
I think it was in, how old were you?
I was 16.
Or how old are you now? Right?
I'm 33.
33? Okay, so you both are the same. I'm sorry, you're a few years older than Frank.
Yeah.
And just 3 years older than me. So yeah, I was a little younger than you, and I think I barely computed. I was like, holy shit, like I computed that there were possibilities that could happen, but at that point I was still malleable enough to be like, well, let's see what happens. Actually, I think that's just always been my general attitude. It's like, well, fuck, that's not good. Let's see what happens.
Yep.
Like there's no panic in me.
Yeah, like there was really no panic in any of us either. It was
We're
just
so young, and it's not like we're.
I mean, even at 16, we're still like, what is really happening?
Mm-hmm.
And then once
we're so far away from New York, from fucking South Texas.
Yeah.
Like how you can only go fucking west from here, man.
Yep.
It's fucking crazy.
So, I mean, we saw that happen, and I was like, all right. At that time, I was already convinced that I was going to go to the Army. My grandpa was in the National Guard. So I figured I was going to go. I was in Army ROTC, so I was like, yeah, that's where I'm going to go. And then when I saw that happen, I knew we were going to go to war. Yeah. I could at least, understand that. Yeah, I could see that happening. So I'm like, shit, we're going to go to war.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be on the front lines. I want to be the first one out there. I'm going to join the Marines.
I think I was pretty damn lucky to be 3 years younger than you.
Yeah.
Because had I been at that age and able to enlist within the next year or two, yeah, I would have disappeared too.
Yeah. And you think about it, it's like, they talk about
a 3-4 year gap before I was, even able to consider it. So.
Yeah, you have more time to think about it, and like at that age, that's when you're most impulsive.
Yeah.
And so, that same day, the recruiters were there at the school.
No shit.
And I wonder if
kidding.
I wonder if it was because of what happened or because they had it on their schedule.
Serendipitous.
Yeah, like
they have to be somewhere, right?
Yeah, they can't just sit in the office all day, right?
But
so
how many schools did they show up to?
Well, I mean, I can only speak for my school.
Lucky.
Yeah, they were at my school, and I remember walking up to the Marine recruiter, and
like I said, I wouldn't have been in a class that would have been old enough to enlist, so they wouldn't have been at mine. But I wonder if
they went to all the other schools too, because
that would be a good indication that it's kind of an inside job. Not that I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but. When little tidbits like that come out, it makes you wonder.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah.
Hashtag Epstein did kill himself.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure he did. Well, actually, somebody's about to get super suicided because they're saying that it wasn't suicide.
Yeah, the autopsy fucking doctor person was all saying there's clear evidence that
of strangulation because he hung himself.
Yeah, but there's apparently there's different fractures, like
the hyoid bone.
Yeah, from hanging yourself is different from a fracture of fucking being strangled.
I'm sure it depends on the material that you're hanging yourself with, whether it's.
It also depends on how you hung yourself too. Like if you jump.
Did you jump and swing?
Yeah, if you jump and swing, you're probably gonna have a cervical fracture. You're definitely gonna fracture your hyoid. If you
it depends on how tense he was at the exact moment, like whether he tensed his neck up or if it was
and of course how far he fell too.
Yeah, I mean.
There's a lot of factors that go into it. So when I say that I worked at the police department, I did crime scene investigations.
No shit.
Yeah, so I went to a few suicides, and the first one was hanging, but this was it wasn't. It actually really wasn't hanging though, because this guy literally tied two belts together and literally had to lean forward and choke himself.
Oh,
that took discipline.
Like autoerotic asphyxiation style.
Kind of, but it was seriously depression. We went through his phone and we saw he had called so many people and nobody answered. There was half a 25 ouncer. Who leaves half a 25 ouncer? You have to be really depressed to leave all your beer there, or half your beer there. So it was really sad and really shitty, but yeah, there are different ways to do it. So real quick, back to the.
I can't stop thinking of whether or not I'd be able to do that. I think I could. If it came down to it, that would probably be the easiest way to do it.
Well, because you got to think real quick. Your natural instinct, once you start losing oxygen, is fight or flight. You're gonna fight it. You're supposed to fight it. So.
What if he was in jiu-jitsu and he was used to being choked out?
No, this guy, he had a slew of health problems. Like he had like the clouded eye. He really needed some weed in his life for the glaucoma, man.
Oh,
like, yeah,
just dark circles, hadn't slept for.
No. His like iris, like his eye, like.
Oh, he literally had glaucoma?
Yeah, he literally had glaucoma.
Shit.
Yeah, he literally. Yeah, his eyes were cloudy.
I thought you were speaking.
No. He really needed. Yeah, no, and so yeah, it was pretty crazy, man. But like we said, there's different ways to do it, and so there are ways to do it without fracturing, but there are indicators.
So off of Epstein, let's get back to your Marine memories. What do you think was your first real moment of appreciating being in the Marines? I always like to do the first good experience and the first bad experience.
Let's see. Well, the first good experience was definitely like towards the end of boot camp, like when they actually give you your Eagle Open anchor. You already know, like, this is it. I made it.
And they call you.
They call you Marine.
That's exactly what Frank said too. So it sounds like that's pretty much the first time they allow you to feel any sort of.
Well, it's the first time you're not a piece of shit, a turd, an asshole. You're basically something other than something derogatory.
Right.
So yeah, that's definitely the first good memory.
Right. And after that, I mean.
After that, I mean. I don't know. I mean,
does it just go dark after that?
No, it's actually really good. I mean, you know, walking around. I guess we see it here all the time, especially here in the valley. We have the reserve station. We have the National Guard station. The Army is allowed to walk around in their camouflage uniform, so they're highly noticeable. Marine Corps is not like that. We can only go out in public in our dress uniforms, our service uniforms.
Right.
So you're always looking sharp no matter where you go. And it's a very telltale uniform, and people recognize it, and they just see that uniform, and they just know that's a bad motherfucker right there.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what size you are. So I don't think there was ever any real dark spots per se. I mean, there was stuff that happened that really sucked, but.
Oh yeah, I don't try and dredge up the.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying like the first feeling where you're like, man, why the fuck am I here?
Oh, that was the first day of boot camp.
First day of boot camp.
First day of boot camp. I mean, I don't know how it is nowadays. I've heard it's gotten a little bit softer.
So Frank, real sorry to interrupt, but do you think I should be asking the first negative memory before the first good memory, or is it after the fucking being called a Marine?
Well, the way fucking
just
we used
hash
to do
out these
it
fucking questions
back with fucking the fucking black hearts with fucking Captain Chantage put this now Major Chantage instill this on us. Fucking start with the bad news first and then the good. You know, so you can feel shitty and then it'll fucking bring you up.
Okay. Well, now I know for next time. But right now, let's talk about your shitty shit.
All right. So, all right. First day, right?
There's a lot of podcasts left. We can spin it back into some positives.
Check this out, man. So, we get on
a little closer.
Yeah, we get on the.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, so we get on the what's it called? The shuttle, right? We get on the shuttle from the recruiting station. We go to San Antonio. We get our final checks, and they're like, "All right, you're going here. You're going there." Yada yada yada. They do all that. So Marines, we're going to San Diego. We already know this.
Mm-hmm.
So we fly from San Antonio to Dallas. Well, in Dallas, there's like a huge storm, and it's weird. We end up linking up with all the other guys going to San Diego from different parts of the country. It's like we all just knew who each other were. And so we set up a little perimeter with our bags and everything, and we are like, all right, you know what, you two watch the bags, we're going to sleep, and then wake us up in an hour, and we rotated like that until we got on the plane.
I'm wondering, did y'all subconsciously recognize each other because you were all allowed only one bag to take, and like certain parameters in which you were
kind of, and like a lot of us went like kind of pre-prepped, you know, like I had a high and tight already.
The attitude and the haircut.
You know, it was like a little bit like that, and some of us were wearing Marine shirts, so that's kind of how we found each other.
Walking up like a new recruit that doesn't know what the fuck he's getting into.
Pretty much. So, needless to say, our flight was delayed out of Dallas. We got to San Diego late.
Right.
I mean, drill instructors are already pissed off having to pick up new people. Now they're really pissed off because we're fucking late.
Do they take it out on you and blame
Oh, hell yeah.
That's amazing.
Dude, and I just happen to be...
I don't know if I can stand that.
Dude, I happen to be this unlucky motherfucker that had everybody's files from my recruiting station. So I had all the paperwork, which means I had to go in front of the drill instructors and drop the shit at their feet, which automatically puts me on the radar.
Why'd you drop it?
Because you have to. That's what they tell you to do. Just
Just drop it. They won't. You're not fit to hand me anything, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
And so we already knew we were fucked because we get there, the terminal's empty, and then we see two guys with high and tights, and they're wearing like the the backpacks, and they're like, fresh recruits.
Dun, 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 dun.
Like we're reporting for boot camp. They were going to what's called School of Infantry, right, where you either go to infantry training battalion or Marine combat training, and they're like, have fun, motherfuckers. And like they already knew what was gonna happen. Next thing you know, door flies open, drone searchers come in, they're all screaming, get online, line up. So we're all lined up. All right, if you have the packets, you need to turn this way, come over here, do this, do that.
Oh,
so,
real quick, what you going for, infantry?
That was my initial goal,
Uh-huh.
but unfortunately one of my friends got killed before I left, so my recruiter's like, look, I'm going to put you as an open contract, which means they can throw you anywhere at that point. And so he said, because I don't want to send you to the infantry and then something happened to you, and I have to deal with this again. Because one's enough. And, one person getting killed is enough.
Well, I guess as his recruiter, too, he would be the one that goes to the parents and presents the...
Yeah, he spent a lot of time talking to my parents, because my parents did not want me to go at all.
Right.
Like, they were...
Yeah, that's their job.
Yeah.
That's their number one job.
And I had them sign the paper. Like, they had to sign papers.
If you're going to the recruiting station already, they've got you.
Mm-hmm.
They've got you. It's your parents that they're paid to fucking go talk to.
Well, I told my parents, because at the time I was 17 when I signed up, so they had to sign the papers to release me to even go get screened and all that stuff.
That's the only reason I didn't end up joining the Navy, I think, or the National
Coast Guard.
Guard. No, at the time I think it was the National Guard. The Coast Guard came when I was like 19, 20.
Like when you met me.
Yeah, when I met you, I was trying to do the Coast Guard thing, but I ended up going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing all right actually. I was going to the beach and like swimming 2 miles down the shit. Like I was getting ready, and then I went batshit. I lost my goddamn mind for at least a couple years.
Oof. Yeah, we all do.
For a year. No, about a year.
Check it out, dude. So this shit's happening, right? And like I said, there's some of us that looked already like we were ready for boot camp, and we're all gonna get shaved bald anyway, but whatever. So some guys were bald, some guys have high and tights, but some people didn't want to let go of their identity. So there was this one guy, he had like long, like shoulder length hair, he's wearing an Abercrombie shirt, he's all fit and he's already buff, He really probably didn't need to go through recruit training other than to get a haircut. And they but they locked onto him, and they're like, "Oh, look at this guy! He's got pretty hair." Oh, and they start running their fingers through his hair, and they're like, They're like, "He's like an Abercrombie model," and I was like, "Dude, this is some gay ass shit!" Like, what the fuck is going on?
Little boy band play right there.
Oh man! So yeah, from there they took us, got us on the bus, played games right on and off the bus.
Heard him mouth, boy.
That's exactly what happened. So we get on the bus, and they have us put our heads down. So. What's funny is that it feels like forever to get to the depot. Well, once you get out, once you graduate and you actually leave the place, you realize the depot is right next to the fucking airport. It shouldn't take that long. They literally drive you around town just to fuck with you.
Oh wow.
But yep.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, from the get-go, man. It's balls to the wall just from the get-go. And so we had this thing, right?
Constantly keep you confused in your mind.
Yeah,
and never locked onto a...
That's what all the yelling and screaming is for, is to keep you in a constant state of stress to see how you react to it.
That's actually pretty smart, yeah.
So, it's literally training you for the worst.
It sucks how you can justify this kind of shit.
Yeah, that's what Will was saying.
Yep. So check it out, man. Fucking, we have this thing. And when you're at that level, you're like, why do people call me retarded, or why do they call me this and call me that? Because we have this thing, boots are retarded. Boots are what we call
crayon
new Marines. And all. Well, crayon eaters is just a general term for all Marines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we call
that was a new one I learned last time.
Yeah,
Will was just being real fucking weird about it. I was like, what the fuck, crayon? I was like, oh, that's a saying apparently.
So new guys and people fresh to the fleet are called boots. And so they're always saying like boots are retarded, boots are retarded. And inevitably you find yourself, once you hit the fleet, you've been there a while, you say the same thing. So we have I came up with a theory, right? It's called intoxication, water intoxication.
Okay.
So if you know this, anything in excess is bad for you.
Uh-huh.
This, alcohol, and even water. So
oh yeah.
We drink an absurd amount of water in boot camp. It seems like every other minute you're chugging out of your canteen, you're always refilling it. Before you go to bed, they're having you pound canteens.
Right, which is fine as long as you're getting salts in as well.
Yeah, and you get your salts from your meals.
You gotta get your minerals in.
Yeah, so you're doing all that. So you're always pissing and you're always sweating and you're always doing all these things. But at some point, it's like, is how much water I'm drinking really affecting my thinking? You know, like.
Do you think so?
I think so.
I mean, your water is like, your brain is like something like 60% water.
Well, our bodies are 70% water.
Yeah, but your brain in particular is like.
That's one with the most water.
Probably. Or
yeah,
it is.
I mean, it's what's affected once you start depleting your water.
I've killed a shit ton of brain cells since I took anatomy and physiology, so.
Oh, right.
But, okay, so, but even to that, I mean, even with all the exercise and everything, there's.
But yeah, no, I see what your point. What your point is. Like,
so check it out. When we say boots do dumb things. So I'm in boot camp, right? Second phase. Because first phase is all retarded. I mean, you're brand new. It's the first 4 weeks. You're going through your shit. You're gonna screw up everything.
Yeah.
So we're in the second phase. That's when we go. We're in the field. We're at Camp Pendleton. We're doing weapons training. We're doing all the hiking. That's where we do the crucible. All those things. So before the crucible, we're at this. This we call it a bivouac site, right? Where you bed down. Now the thing of it is, they call it the $1 million head. The head is our term for the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
So the reason it's called the $1 million head is because it's an actual brick building in the middle of nowhere. It's got plumbing, it's got running water, it's got showers, it's got everything.
It's an actual facility.
It's an actual facility out in the middle of the hills. It is Mecca for us at that point. Now,
bow down everything.
Yes. But now the bad thing is that to use it, you have to be fully dressed. That means you have to be fully dressed. You know, you can't go in what we call PT gear, right? You can't go in shorts and your green T-shirt and your
Is there a time limit on it too?
There probably is, but they didn't tell us about that. They said you have to be fully dressed, and that means your camis, top to bottom, your cover, your boots, blouse. You have to be like
your vest,
almost inspection ready. Yeah, like to go.
Okay.
So, needless to say, when you really have to take a piss,
it takes a minute.
Yeah, you have to if you have to put all that shit on. Yeah,
and like you said, inspection ready, so everything's gotta be lined up proper and still pleated and whatnot.
So check this out.
Wait, so do you take your pants off to piss?
Of course.
So you don't fuck up the pleats?
Oh no! You can just pop your shit. But what I'm saying is,
I'm real concerned.
I'm sorry. We're in the spoiled Marine Corps. We had the no wrinkle. You wash it and they don't wrinkle. We don't starch them. We had the digital camis. We weren't like the guys wearing the tri-patterns with the black boots where they had to spit shine them and all that.
Yeah.
We weren't doing none of that.
Yeah, okay.
So, but the thing of it was, every night before you go to bed, you have to chug one of your canteens. You carry 2. You have to chug one. And how much is a canteen? What, like a quart?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's like a quart of water.
Yeah, it makes sense. In case you got to get up in the middle of the night and just run, you're already hydrated.
So we chug that before we go to bed, and so you have 1 empty canteen and 1 full canteen. And
shit, I might start doing that for my marathon training. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So check it out. You have to, or when you sleep, right? For some odd reason, it's July. When the time I was there, it's July, and it's freezing balls in the mountains.
Oh no shit! So in the summer here, it's winter there.
Well, no, I mean it's still summer over there. Yeah, but it's California, so.
Oh, we're still talking Pendleton.
Yeah. So we're over there, and so for whatever reason, it was super cold. Now, the way our sleeping bags are designed is to work on body heat. So your best bet is to sleep butt ass naked in your sleeping bag because your body's gonna give off the heat. It's gonna bounce off the walls and come back to you. It's gonna keep you warm. So imagine we're waking up at 03:04 in the morning. It's still freezing. You get out of your sleeping bag. Now you have to get fully dressed, and you just chugged a quart before you went to bed 6 hours prior. So now you gotta take a piss.
Yeah.
So, like this morning, for whatever reason, I really had to go. So I'm like scrambling to get dressed. I got as far as my pants on. I didn't have my socks on yet. I had my shirt on, and I couldn't hold it anymore. I had to go. There was no way I was going to bend over.
I'm so concerned right now.
There was no way I was going to bend over and tie my boots and blouse them and put that pressure on my bladder without leaking.
Right.
I was like, dude, fuck this. I just stood in front of my tent and I just stood there and I just pissed myself.
Oh, fucking hell.
And it felt great because, you know what? It was so fucking cold and it was so warm when I was pissing.
So is that your first good or bad memory? Both
it's kind of like in between.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So.
A toss-up there.
So. This is happening.
It's embarrassing, but it felt so good in the moment. It's a moment of ecstasy in this moment of hell.
So we have these leaders, right? So it's called the guide. The guide is the guy who carries the guide on. He's like the main person. He's the one.
Guide on?
Yeah, the guide on. It's a little staff with a little flag that has our platoon number on it that everybody takes pride on. And he's the guy that catches shit for anything wrong that happens in our platoon.
Right.
And then you have your squad leaders and shit rolls downhill. So the guy's walking around, his job at 18, 17 years old is to check everybody. He's responsible for the whole platoon. So he's coming by and I was like, hey man.
Does that rotate or is it the same guy every time?
It depends. If you're good, they'll keep you on. If you're not good, they'll fire your ass.
It's warrant based.
And yeah, they'll get somebody else.
Okay.
So this kid's coming by and I was like, hey Nugent. Hey,
Nugent?
Man. Yeah, his last name was Nugent. He had a full fucking name. He's actually from Northeast Texas or Northwest, whatever. He's up there in the Panhandle somewhere.
Yeah.
His name was Amos Nugent.
Was his dad Ted?
Probably. I wouldn't put it past it.
I'm gonna go Google this and see if
he's on Facebook. He's on Facebook. So I was like, hey Nugent, I pissed myself, man. And he's like, what? And I was like, dude, look, I pissed myself. There's a puddle like right under me.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, don't say anything. And I was like, but we gotta tell the journalists. If they find out, they're gonna get mad. And we're going back and forth. He's like, if you want to tell them, that's on you, man. I was like, fine. So we call it a kill hat, right? There's different levels to the drill instructors. So the kill hat's the one you don't want to focus. He's the one that his job is to screw you up all day, every day. He had just gotten promoted to gunnery sergeant. So for a whole month, we're calling him staff sergeant. Now he's gunnery sergeant. We're still getting used to it. And he's walking by and he's like booking it. I was like, sir, you know, I go through my spiel.
Yeah.
But I say, recruit Zepeda request permission to speak to drill instructor, staff sergeant, gunnery sergeant Robinson, sir. What, bitch? And he turns around and he puts his flashlight in my face, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, what? And I was like, recruit Zepeda needs to inform the drill sergeant this recruit pissed himself, sir. What? And I repeat myself, and then I point to the ground, and he looks down at the puddle, like, well, now it's like dirt, it's like mud.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, nasty motherfucker, get the fuck out of my face right now. And he just like mushes me, dude, and he just keeps on going. So badass, we didn't get slayed for that. That was the first time I pissed myself.
At least he was cool about it.
Yeah, thank God.
I mean, he could have made you do push-ups.
Yeah, or mountain climbers, or build his house, whatever the fuck. Could have done a whole spiel of things. So moving forward, right? Fast forward a few weeks. Now we're in third phase. We're back at the MCRD San Diego. We have this thing called the mini grinder. It's where you put all the beds from the squad bay on one side of the house. You line up the foot lockers so the drill instructor can walk in them, and we basically do static drill movements. So, because we're always drilling in boot camp, which is using marching and using
static being just in place.
Yeah, we're doing it in place. So again, still doing the retarded hydration deal. I have to take a massive piss, dude, and
time out.
Yeah, I'm like
time out. No, with you.
Yeah.
Hey Frank, how you doing over there? Just want to remind our listeners that Frank is one of our co-hosts, and he is a beautiful man, silent but deadly, just like many of the guests.
Okay.
Hey Frank, you ever piss yourself?
No, but I did shit myself fucking phase 2. I'm fucking pumped in the fucking middle of the woods. It's a fucking
holy
story.
Shit. Alright, no, good to check in. Love you, Frank. Bye.
Yeah.
We'll ask
I actually shit myself right when we got there before the IST.
Alright, let's talk shit stories then. You've been going for 35 minutes. I guess we can move on to the from piss.
Alright, let him finish his
Oh yeah, because this one's good. This one's good. So we're doing the mini grinder, right? And I'll fast forward through this real quick.
No, you're good.
I'm requesting to go to the restroom, right? I'm like, recruits by the request, person speaking to drill instructor, staff sergeant life read, sir. What? Recruits by the request permission to make an emergency head call, because I really have to go.
Yeah.
No. Now, staff sergeant life read's a white boy, and he's about all of like 5'2".
So he's got something to prove.
Yeah. And, well, the thing of it is that if I would have just asked for a head call, he would have let me go. But I was saying emergency, there's no such thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I asked about 3 times. Never got it. Homeboy next to me, he's about the same height as the drill instructor, about 5'2", black kid, who resembles Sammy Davis Jr. because we're wearing the big ass glasses in boot camp, which I wore also. I wear contacts now, but I had the big ass glasses also. But he looked like Sammy Davis Jr. He's a hilarious fucking guy. His name is Jari Williamson.
Jari?
Jari.
That's a great name.
Dude. So all of a sudden, the drill instructor's like, we had just done a movement. He's checking our form, and he stops right in front of Williamson.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Williamson, what the fuck is that?
Dun.
Like, this recruit pissed himself, sir.
Oh, shit.
Why the fuck didn't you ask to go to the head, Williamson? Like, permission to speak openly, sir. Granted, that's a very rare occasion, but I guess because we're in third phase, it's already the end, maybe he let it go. He's like, well, sir, He's like, recruit Zepeda had been asking to go to the head 3 times, and the drill instructor said no, and he Mexican. So the drill instructor, or so the recruit figured, the drill instructor wasn't gonna let this recruit go to the head because he black.
Oh shit! He thought it was a race.
He thought it was a racist thing, dude. So, bro, the drill instructor, I mean, he's like white, like freckles and all that pasty white. He turns beet fucking red. He grabs his hat, you know, the Smokey Bear, and he puts it over his face for about a minute.
Because he was laughing.
He was laughing behind the fucking hat, dude. He's like, Zepeda, you still need to go to the head? Yes, sir. Like, I'm all panicked. Like, I'm about to burst. I'm about to be in John Reed's fucking point. I'm like, shit. And so, yes, sir. He's like, everybody, take a head call. Williamson, obviously you already went to the head. Change your pants, come back. So yeah, we got the break, dude. But it was just so hilarious that this guy had the balls to call the drill instructor on racism.
Well, it probably was the only thing that was gonna work, really.
Yeah. So it was hilarious. So to the shit story.
Oh, goddamn.
To the shit
so
story. To the fucking shit story.
Oh yeah, so you both. How do you both have shit story? I can understand the pissing thing, like drinking the water, not being allowed to go to the head. That makes sense.
Okay.
But how do you not control your shits?
Well, now, so mine happened like
especially on MREs. From what I understand, they plug your ass up.
Okay, that's MRE. So I don't know how he did because that's all you're eating in the field over there in Pendleton. But mine was at the beginning. We're still in receiving, right? So it's the first week that you're there. You haven't slept in 3 days. You're doing paperwork, yada yada. You're under a whole bunch of stress. And of course, you're still hydrating to their standards.
Right.
So it's called an IC. It's called an initial strength test. It's a test we do first thing in the morning before we get picked up by our actual platoons that we're going to train with. And so that morning, they get you up. They're screaming. They're yelling. Everybody get in line. Yada. This side go to the bathroom. This side do this. And we're going through all the motions. So I was on the side that went second. We're on the, we're the last ones basically.
Mm-hmm.
I get into the bathroom. And I go take a piss. Halfway through this long Austin Powers style piss, I feel the pressure, like, I'm already percolating, man. Like, I'm prairie dogging.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, so I clench, and I'm trying to hold it, but I'm trying to push the piss out, and I'm trying to push the piss out.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do it.
No, you gotta stop all function.
So
immediately squat.
So the good thing is that everybody had already cleared. I was the last one in the bathroom, so fuck it, dude. I just dropped my shorts. Which were the shorts?
I just felt my stomach drop during the story too. Like,
dude, I threw off my shorts, and I'm still pissing as I'm clenching and walking backwards toward the stall, which doesn't have any doors anyway, thank God.
Back in from urinal to stall?
Yeah, but like at this point I already like shit half my fucking underwear, so I already had like, streaks that they reeked, and I was like, fuck, dude. So I took my underwear off and I threw them, and I was like, fuck, I have to be wearing underwear though. And I see a pair of underwear in the trash can, but they don't have shit stains, but they have a blood stain.
What?
And I'm like, oh man.
What the? No, don't, no,
dude,
no, what?
I did it. I put them on.
Shut the fuck up!
Dude, I did.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, okay, so
Derek? What is his name again?
Rob.
Jennifer?
So the
Rob.
blood stain was in the ass cheek because we all gotten injected with the fucking what is it, the
stupid shot.
Oh,
yeah, one of the shots in the ass. We called it the peanut butter shot.
So you knew what it was, but then wouldn't you?
Penicillin shot. It was penicillin.
But no, dude. There's no.
Because we didn't do. This is like the first.
What kind of gonorrhea this dude has in his.
Well, we figured to get to boot camp, you have to at least be clean. You can't have AIDS. You can't go to boot camp with AIDS. That's something you contract if you're overseas and you.
If you're already out there. Yeah, if you get there when you're there, that's on you. But you can't come in with that bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, dude, I put those underwear on, man, and I fucking put my shorts back on.
This is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard, and I've heard about a man that shit off the side of a building and made a waterfall. What is going on with these guys? I didn't join the Marines. What the hell is happening here?
Believe me, I did worse at the PD just on St. Patrick's Day of this year.
Shit, I don't know if we're even gonna get to questions on the next episode. If you stick around, we're gonna just have more of these stories. Shit, we're at 41 minutes. Is there anything else we want to get in? Frank, we will let you talk for 5 wonderful minutes if you make it worth it. Don't fuck it up, Frank.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll tell my fucking shit story.
That's what I'm looking for.
So then, it was phase 2. We're out in the fucking was in the middle of fucking nowhere, and fucking we also have the fucking $1 million head, right? And I don't remember how the fuck it happened, but I remember my fucking bulldog drill instructor, which was the one that's been a drill instructor the least, because it's 2 drill instructors and then the senior drill instructor. And yeah, I remember him yelling. He's like, "Fucking no more head calls," and I'm like, "Fuck," because I really had to shit. And fucking, I remember I was all fucking, yeah. So I'm like, "Fuck," and after that we had to hike back to the fucking to the barracks. And I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna do this? Because I was already fucking turtlenecking. And I'm like, well, shit, now I got
Everybody's got a different fucking term for it. Prairie dog and turtlenecking, sock puppet.
Yeah, so I'm like,
thank you, trademark Tony.
So I'm like, well, fuck it, I guess I have no fucking choice.
Because you get your hand in the
So we're over here fucking marching all the way down, and it was a fucking hike. And I'm like, god damn. So I'm fucking hiking while clenching my ass, and I'm like, God, I hope I fucking make it. Well,
is it uphill?
It was downhill, then uphill, then downhill again.
See, you're fine during the uphill, during the downhill, but that uphill where you gotta lift your knees up high.
Yeah. So then I'm like, fuck. And we finally make it, and the fucking drill instructor is like, okay, fucking go make your head call so we can finally go and sleep on our fucking beds.
Yeah.
And I'm over here thinking, I'm like, well, what's the fucking point? I already fucking shit myself.
So you did go.
Yeah, on my fucking pants. And I'm like, fuck, well, fucking, let me see how this turned out. It's probably not that bad. So then I go over to the stall.
Wait, hold on. You went straight past the point of shit. You
was
were
walking,
hiking, you were walking,
right,
you were having
and
trouble.
I was clenching my ass.
And so
right.
you feel it kind of slicking out?
Yeah,
so you don't
like
actually
fucking
feel a
grinding,
release, but...
And I'm like, fuck. So by the time...
So did it start as a fart and it just got dirty and then it just
No.
continued?
No.
Okay, sorry. Let's get to the point where you finally do your self-inspection.
Mind you, all we've been eating are fucking MREs. And with, and with MREs, when you gotta go, it's all coming out.
It's all at once.
Like, you're dropping a fucking anaconda. And fucking... So then, we're over here at the fucking barracks, and I'm like, well, what's the fucking point? Well, at least I'll fucking go check it out. Maybe it's not that bad. Well, shit, I was wrong. Because I fucking dropped trout in the fucking stall, and it's fucking, it's like fucking that chocolate scene in fucking Dumb and Dumber. On my fucking underwear, and I'm like, fuck, how the fuck am I gonna... So then I just fucking, I drop trout, I take my underwear off completely, and I just start wiping my ass. And I want to say it was a whole fucking hour's worth, but maybe not. Somehow I fucking made it.
This doesn't sound too bad though. At least it wasn't running down your legs.
Yeah, somehow I fucking made it to where I fucking had some time to fucking shave and piss. But I didn't. I grabbed my fucking underwear, rolled it up into a ball, some crazy how without getting it in my hand.
Okay.
And I fucking dropped it in the fucking trash can. But I kind of hit it. I didn't just drop it. I kind of hit it.
You kind of tuck it into
yeah,
the
because
I did that once in high school when I just could not get rid of a fucking boner. And I jacked off in the restroom, and then I looked around. Oh my God, there's no toilet paper! So I take my underwear off, clean myself up, and I like fold it up, get it all off my hand, and fucking shove it down the side of the fucking toilet. Yeah.
Yeah,
so I'm well aware of the procedure. I just you're not alone.
So then we weren't getting a full night's sleep, and I'm fucking wide awake. I still have to fucking piss and shit. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking take advantage. So as soon as the fucking lights hit, I fucking went into the fucking head, and I fucking showered, and I fucking shaved, and that was the best fucking shit. So I guess it was worth it. That was the best fucking shave I had ever had my entire fucking time in fucking.
Because you felt so dirty, you finally got as clean.
No, because I had all fucking night to fucking shave, and the fucking drill instructor, when he was doing the morning inspection, he was like, fucking, he made an example of me. He's like, look at this shitbag. If he can shave so fucking pristinely, all you motherfuckers can shave as well. And I'm like, okay. I was kind of fucking proud of that moment, but then I'm like, don't get too fucking excited, because you had all fucking night.
Hey, make brownies out of shit seeds. You're doing alright. You did alright, man. Well, shit, those are some shit-tacular stories. Thank you, guys. We are living up to the name Completely Inappropriate Podcast. I wanted to give a little shout-out to our listeners. Thanks for sticking with us. The point of this podcast is to have the conversations that you can't have in general public, and to be say the completely inappropriate things that we're all thinking and are too scared to fucking say to each other. Half the shit we say, whether or not we believe it, we're saying it just to fucking entertain ourselves, first of all, and then you. So if you don't like it, fuck off. We're gonna keep doing this anyway. This is the Completely Inappropriate Podcast, after all. I am Tony, and this is our beloved and wonderful Mr.
Frank.
And our guest host,
Rob.
Mr. Rob, do you have anything you would like to say to the people before we sign off?
Hey man, thank y'all for listening. This is the shit. If you're, tell your friends to listen too, because if you're listening, more than likely your friends are just as fucked up as you are, and you should probably bring them on board.
Yeah, don't be scared to share your. I mean, shit. If you don't like us, share it with your friends and fucking start a petition to shut us down. Maybe we'll get some more attention off that too. Anyway, so Mr. Frank, what do we say to the lovely listeners?
Be excellent to each other. And
I say find your happy people, hold on to it, lock it, put it in your pocket. We love you. Take it easy. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.